Yep.
And good morning, Space Engineers. This is Mr. Kassarian.
And this is Tekrin.
And we are back. So we're doing some housekeeping today. I'm taking my grinder ship over to Nick's old base.
And I'm currently on the process of bringing over the cargo ship that isn't completely finished, but we have it working now enough so that I can cart things over.
As we pass each other.
Yes.
I'm like, I hope the server doesn't derp and I don't slam into him, because I think I'd win that encounter.
Not entirely sure. I mean, this is a pretty big ship.
This entire thing's made of heavy armor because it used to be the patrol ship.
Hey.
And it has grinders on the front.
Well, the grinders need to be running, and grinders running generally go pretty slow, to be honest.
Oh, no. No. You don't understand. They have incredibly high impact resistance.
Oh. That makes sense.
So, Tekrin told me that I could find some heavy armor blocks.
On the underside of my base.
Why is the entire underside of your base made of heavy armor blocks again?
It's not the entire bit, but it's the landing pad. And that would be because my friend happens to not know how to slow down all that quickly. He generally does not put enough forward or reverse thrusters on his ships. So instead of sitting there and, having him destroy the base every time that he decides to land a ship, I just kind of made the underside of my base out of heavy armor. As it so happens, he managed to destroy even that. So, I'm currently on my save in the process of converting that into reinforced heavy armor, which costs 1,000 steel plates each.
Which is another modded block, if I remember correctly.
Yes. He has destroyed some of those, but it's a lot stronger. It's not entirely 100%, efficient, but it works for now. Until we can find something that's just unbreakable for him to crash into. And hopefully not destroy anything else in the process.
Like the ship he's flying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with him destroying that because it's generally just something that he went out and grabbed. He's actually pretty good at going and grabbing ships. But the issue is, he's not good at slowing down in time. So there's that.
So he's of the ramming speed philosophy then.
He's of the, it'll be fine. I don't need to slow down until, 150 meters away. Oh, wait. This thing slows down at about 0.2 meters per second. It doesn't.
He forgets that there's no drag in space, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he also generally happens to forget to turn off his inertial dampers.
To turn them back on?
Oh, yes, rather.
Oh, gosh. So for those of you who don't know too much about Space Engineers, your inertial dampeners actually fire your thrusters at a higher rate than your controls do.
So that, it can stop you if you need to stop. So long as you actually remember to, turn them on.
Yep.
Doesn't really end well if you just completely forget that you even have them.
Just laughing. Just... Oh, gosh.
Yeah. See, this is what I have to put up with when you're gone.
Yeah, apparently. I'm like, seriously? Alright, there we go. These heavy armor, the large ship grinders really do chew through ships, don't they?
Yes, they do. Right now, I am currently in the process of attaching your cargo ship to your base.
I'm waiting to hear a crunch oops.
See, I'm not like my friend.
There's also a secondary control deck down in the basement on the underside of the ship.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently using.
Okay, good.
And switch lock. There we go. It's locked.
Awesome.
No problem.
So, was this your mining ship over here?
Yes. It currently looks a bit destroyed because you don't happen to use the same blocks that I do.
Yeah, and also once it loads in, if it doesn't have those blocks, it just deletes the missing ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't use the
So-
same command chair you do either.
No, I use the Scorpion,
Oh.
which you happen to not have.
That is correct, I do not. Though you do use CW stairs.
Yes, I do.
So do you want to keep this thing here, or do you want to rip it apart?
I'm fine with ripping it apart.
Okay. And then I will start on that. In my converted escort ship.
Indeed. And
'Cause-
I will begin to attempt
Though
to figure out
part
how
of me-
to connect everything.
You know what we're actually going to do here? We are going to convert this thing into a station. Is there anything
Convert
in
what
your
into a
station, by
station?
the way, that's not getting ripped apart?
No. I currently have everything all set up to be torn up
Okay, good.
because you don't have any bunk beds or anything.
Oh.
You don't have a lot of the mods that I do.
Well, yes, you're using like 80-something, man.
This is true.
Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'll put a merge block. If I could find them in the G menu. The main issue is I'm waiting until a full-on G menu actually works.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, it would be. Of course, you know, by the time people are watching this being Friday's episode, they're probably going to go, dude, it's already out. I'm like, guys, we recorded this on Sunday. What do you want
we
from
generally
us?
record. Yeah, we generally record about maybe 5-6 days in advance. So, hopefully on Thursday, the update has come out, in which case we won't be complaining anymore. But if not, then we'll have even more complaints.
There we go. So,
This-
for those of you guys who sometimes experience that, where one of your keys registers is stuck in Space Engineers, no, it's not your keyboard. It is just Space Engineers.
Yes, it is.
Basically,
It
the
generally
best-
happens because of lag.
Yeah. The best thing you can do is just pull open your controller, your escape, hit escape, mash your keyboard for a couple seconds, and hope that works.
Yeah, and that generally does.
Why do you have an artificial mass block buried in your ship?
In my mining ship.
Yeah.
I had that buried in there because I use gravity in order to basically guide my descent into the thing so that I
Okay.
don't actually have to use up any full power.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't have to actually allow my thrusters to do it. I can just have my thrusters there for slowing it down when I need to.
That makes sense. You have buried control panels everywhere on the ship.
Control panels on where?
Your station.
Oh, yes.
Also, for those of you who don't know, doors are a great source of literally everything.
Yes, they are.
which is actually somewhat irritating when you're trying to rip a ship apart, or when you're trying to build one. It's like, wait a second. Large steel tube.
What do I need now? Oh yeah, I need all of this. And I need to count it out perfectly so that will actually fit in my times 10 menu. Or you can be like me and just have a 10,000 times menu and just kind of grab all of your ingredients all at once.
Yep. You mean, storage?
Yeah. Well, I mean, with 10,000 times, you can literally fit, like, 10 million iron on your person at once.
Yeah.
It's quite fun, but then again, the amount of cheatiness in that isn't
Right, and...
quite realistic.
Oh, space engineers realism.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, I'm stealing the command. Your station doesn't have any power, does it?
No, I already removed that.
Oh, good, which means I can take off the command chair.
Yes. But yeah, I have multiple command points simply because I don't like to be too far from one in the case of me forgetting to recharge myself.
Yeah. And do you actually have a reactor on your mining ship still?
I actually have like 6, but I already removed all of the stuff out of it.
Oh. Thank you.
What?
So what I'll do then is...
My mining ship can just be completely devastated if you want.
Oh, I know. I'm just connecting it to a merge block first. Because even though, for those of you guys who are watching this, even though it seems like it's taking way too long for me to do this, it saves me about 2 hours of running around trying to pick things up later.
Yeah. It really does, simply because of simplicity of not having to, you know, worry about the ship actually coming apart.
Yeah. Now, where is a place
being
where I can
tossed around the
shove up
cosmos.
there? There we go. Ship just turned on, kind of.
There we are. Now we just need to move all of the ore over into your large container.
Indeed. We are now a station.
Yes.
Awesome. Time to start eating. Om nom 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 nom. So guys, we'll probably be back in just a couple minutes after I finish consuming this mining ship and
my entire
platform.
station.
Yep, pretty much. See ya. And we're back, guys. And we're building a giant plate of metal for no apparent reason. No. We are starting work on a grinder wall. I'm placing the blocks down, and Nick is over there welding away.
Yes.
And thankfully, this shouldn't be too bad. Now, we're building this thing. This isn't probably the largest grinder wall you've ever seen. You've all seen Tekron's massive, huge monstrosity that he built.
Yeah, well, I was lazy.
Lazy.
I just wanted to have one thing that I could just toss ships into and have it just eat them. So sure, it was quite a bit of work to start out with, but once it was done, I can just kind of have it just sit there and eat through anything that I toss at it. I've actually thrown a station in there that my friend had built.
Seriously.
Yeah, my friend had built a station, and we decided that, oh, this isn't necessary anymore. So we tossed a few Titan engines on it and just fluid into the thing.
Oh gosh.
The amount of lag and the length of the lag was immense.
I
Like,
can imagine.
We sat there for an hour and a half waiting for the entire thing to just be eaten through.
That's a little
Granted,
ridiculous.
when you have physics calculations going at 1/10 of what they should be.
After the slope is done and drive them.
Because, of course. Alright, we
Yes.
need a T conveyor, I believe. Let's do that on the other
We
side,
need a
actually.
T conveyor.
I like the KC conveyors, the add-on conveyors.
Yeah, the way that I had everything set up was basically because grinders have because they have two connectors on them side to side. I just let them go all the way up, and then I connected it with the full 6-way conveyors just because I didn't feel like fixing it, so it was separate.
Yeah, I'm ruthlessly exploiting the fact that conveyors have an overlap range on the vertical.
What?
If you look at how the grinder wall's being set up.
Oh, right. Because grinders can grind 3x3s instead of the way that I had it set up, which was 1x1s.
They grind 3x1s.
Oh.
They do grind 3x1s. But, no.
Oh, right. Up and down.
Yeah, they do up and down, which is how I'm setting this thing up.
Yep.
This is going to be a lot of motors and a lot of large steel tubes.
Thankfully, we have all of my motors now from my base.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes. It will make things much easier.
And there goes me just being like, oh, I'll just keep clicking. Click, 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 click. Oh, oops. Overran that by a little
By
bit.
the way, the base is done.
Awesome.
Well, almost, because you stopped me from going all the way to the back with
Oh, you have to
parts
roll
underneath
underneath.
the grinders, but yep.
Alright, so we're going to put another
But that shouldn't take long.
T conveyor. I think for right now we'll go up one more layer of grinder. After this one that I'm doing right now. Now,
Yep.
hopefully we don't end up in a situation... Well, alright, let's rephrase this. Let's, Yeah. So, fortunately, I have the benefit of watching several other people build similar designs to this. So I know some of the pitfalls that we're going to run into before we actually get there.
What would those be?
So the first one is that there's a way to do this so that you don't have to really worry about items in containers.
Grinders just work automatically like that.
Oh, they do that now. Right, I forgot.
Yep.
Okay, so we don't have to do that. The other thing we want to take care of is this space in between the grinders. Because bits like to get caught in there. Don't especially know why, but one guy was swearing that they happen to be basically magnetic. Having fun.
Yes. With a welding chip that actually works. Because apparently on my save, I can't make welding chips.
I wonder if there's a mod that edits the welder properties that just derped out.
Possibly. Or it could have just been all my ridiculous edits to the base save. The
Yeah.
FBC file.
That may also do it.
Yeah.
And we're just going to do one more thing just to kind of cushion these welders a little bit. But that's after we get, this back wall mostly completed. Now, the other issue we're going to run into... Well, it's kind of an issue. is that... Let's see, one more down. The... Ooh, life support is low. Holy crap, life support's low.
You finally saw this thing for it when you were at like 5%?
Yep. Yeah, the 5% warning marker.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of those realizations where you're like, oh, wait a second. That's not good.
I can't continue to do this. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I had when I was over at the mine layer last episode.
Did you ever find that thing again, or was it just gone?
No, it's gone.
Ah, too bad.
I'm sure that at some point I'll just have to go in and make it disappear, so that way we don't have to worry about, save game.
It'll actually get cleaned automatically.
It's only 7,000 blocks out there, and it isn't moving.
Ooh.
So I will probably have to do that during one of the jumps that we have. Certainly not this episode, but maybe in a future time.
You have a bit more welding to do on the front, too. Because I'm throwing down some slope blocks just to protect the welders a little bit. The grinders.
Yeah.
And also I end up liking the way it looks.
Yes, so I don't like what it does to your grinding, or your welding ship.
What'd you say?
I don't like what it does to your welding ship. Trying
Why?
to follow my normal path, and it's just like, nope, you don't get to do that.
Alright, there we go. Now, for those of you watching, this is actually the easiest part of building one of these things, by the way.
Yeah, sadly.
Because this design is going to use what's basically called a pusher plate design, where there's a plate with landing gear on it that's going to basically sit behind where I'm standing right now. Those landing gear will lock onto the ship we're grinding, and then push it forward into the into the grinders. There's a few advantages to that. Hold still for a minute. I need to grab about 100 steel plates out of you. Set. The advantage to this is... Oh, go ahead.
One of the major advantages to it is you don't have to have it quite the size of mine.
No. And it can deal with bits that aren't powered. So you can chop ships up into smaller pieces, load them in here, and then just start the grinder. Kind of like a giant trash compactor, actually.
Yeah, and then mine, basically the way that mine works, you actually have to find some way of basically getting it up to about 5 to 8, or 0.5 to 0.8 meters per second, and then the grinders will just do the rest. But you need a lot more grinders in order to do that.
Right. We need a crap load of construction components, too.
Well, it's a good thing that I have plenty of those in there.
Well, that's looking like a grinder wall now, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Now, what we're going to do is, down here at least, and I wonder if this will let me do it. Hold on. New station. And then...
Well, that's not good.
Aha, it will.
I just got no server connection
Ooh.
for 5 seconds.
Well, that's fun.
Indeed.
Blast door blocks will work perfectly for this. Alright, so now we're going to come down here. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4.
We need large steel tubes.
Yes, we do. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a... Do I want to do wheel design?
What do I need on the bottom ones to finish the grinders?
On the bottom ones, I need... They need construction components, motors, large and small steel tubes.
Oh, so I need a whole bunch of things.
Yep.
Fun.
So let's see. How am I going to do this on this side? Okay. So the first thing we're going to want to do is landing gear. Landing gear. Do I want to do landing gear? Yes, I want to do landing gear for part of this at least. So this comes out 1, 2, 3, 4. Clunk.
By the way, we went down from 18,000 steel plates down to 399.
1, 2, 3. Wow.
Just to let you know.
That's it's a little bit impressive.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right.
Then we need small steel tubes. I have large steel tubes as well. We need what else? Construction components.
Yep. Motors.
And what else? Motors. And anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
I'm working on something a
'Cause
little
I
bit
was
different.
just going. Yep. I was just going ahead and doing that.
So, for some of you, you may recognize this design as being horribly stolen from several other YouTubers. And in my humble opinion, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
This is slightly
Even if that
different
means stealing it.
because we're not going to actually use a gravity tractor on this design. Several other designs have used gravity tractors to stabilize this. We are not. Or to move it, at least. We're actually going to use wheels to move it. Which is going to give us some advantages and disadvantages. What are these? 2 blocks tall on landing gear? 1, 2? Yeah. 1, 2. Let's make sure this actually fits properly. Yes. Okay. So, these landing gear are basically going to act like giant rails that will hold this thing in place. It'll hold basically a twin-sided track, and you guys will be able to see that better as we finish this up and once we get this whole thing completed. But it's going to serve as basically guide rails for the actual motive assembly, or the pusher plate. And it should work relatively well. At least I've seen it work relatively well without too much damage to anything. Let me rephrase that. I hope it works relatively well. I've seen it work without damage to anything. Aren't you feeling confident?
Yeah. I mean, the grinding wall's almost done. At least what you have of it so far.
Yeah, the grinding part at least.
Yep, there you go. It's all done.
Oop,
And
I
the
need some more-
conveyors.
I need more steel plates.
Well, there's a few still in here.
In the welder?
There's none in there.
Oh gosh, already?
Yeah. There's only like 300 in here.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, 399.
We're gonna need more steel plates.
Yep, and that means that we're going to need more iron, because if you forgot, we're actually out of iron.
There should be a whole bunch of it down in the ship thing.
In the Bertha?
Yes.
Okay.
One, two, down. Okay.
Did you just grab all the steel plates?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That puts it at 1, 2, 3 from the corner. Let's make sure it's correct on this
Okay.
side.
That's locked right there.
No, it is 1, 2 from the corner. So let's bring this down. We can... Steel plates, the most commonly used thing in Space Engineers.
And no one ever has enough. Even on my save, which has a ridiculous amount of things, I still never have enough.
Oh yeah, you basically just need to, like, kill every asteroid you ever come across. And then use SE Toolbox to create some more, just for good measure.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and put all of the iron in your grinding ship, and then from there I can go and make everything work. And oh my, I see what you mean. There are 726,000 iron.
Yep.
You were not kidding.
Alright, now I cannot tell what is off-center about this station.
What is off-center about which
Something
which
is off-center
station?
with this. 1, 2.
Oh, and I do see one thing that I do think
1,
that you
2.
will want to get a mod for.
Oh.
More powerful and longer
3.
spotlights.
Oh, yes. 1, 2, 3.
Because
let's
I
take a look at
remember
this.
your complaints.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Running into some issues that you run into quite often on Minecraft.
Yep.
Fun.
We need to push this out by 1.
Does that mean that I need to complete, or does that mean that we need to completely disassemble the entire grinding wall?
No.
Good. Because otherwise I would have been angry.
Just add 1 more row. On the side closest to the
Okay.
Titan.
Okay. Do, 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 do. So, how do I connect a ship to your drill?
There's a connector
now
on
I
the
see.
top.
Yes.
So yeah,
Let's
that
see.
should be where you connect.
Yes.
Unless you decide to make your own connector, but I kind of put it there because it was
Well.
a not difficult spot to connect through.
Yes, I see now where you're talking about. And it isn't so much that it's on the drill itself, it's actually on the big Bertha itself.
Yes.
I thought that you had it separated.
No, gosh, no. Because all the refining is on the Bertha.
Okay.
Though I suppose I could probably fit a few refineries inside the drill. No, not refineries. Blast furnaces inside the drill.
Yes, you could.
Okay, here we go. Ah, this looks better. Good news, everybody.
Indeed. I'm not sure why this is not connecting.
Make sure none of them aren't turned off.
That would be the reason why.
There was a reason I had for doing that.
And now you can't remember it at all?
Absolutely not. Ooh, low energy again. Alright guys, so I know we're running a little bit long. I just want to finish up this track just so I can show you how it's supposed to work. But first I have to recharge my suit energy, because not running out of that would be a very good thing.
Yes. What just happened?
Oh.
I was just connected to it, and then I was disconnected.
Nah.
Like, I was completely connected to it, and then as soon as I open up my inventory, it's just like, nope. It's like, what?
No, actually, I'm sorry, but you're not connected there.
Sorry about that.
Perfect. Okay. That is exactly how I want that to work. So now that you guys are getting a sense of how this is supposed to work, basically, this thing... Come over like that. These were except if I don't mess it up. These things basically work as guide rails. So we have a heavy armor block rail that slides in between these things, that's spaced properly. And that this thing uses as the guide to keep anything from sliding around and moving. This has different properties, advantages, and disadvantages than the system I've used previously that you guys have all seen, which was using wheels to do much the same job. The advantage to this is that it's sturdier, all right? It's stiffer. That's a better way of saying it. It's not any more inherently strong or weak than the other design. It's just, it doesn't have any give to it. It'll keep that pusher plate exactly in line. The downside is it doesn't have any give to it, which is why I didn't use it for the drill, which before the advent of the super drill would have bounced around quite a bit. And that could have caused some very bad results to occur when you're dealing with those drills. Namely, damage to the structure, and etc., etc. This structure I'm not expecting to have nearly as much lateral rotation to it, or lateral motion.
And it certainly shouldn't.
Because there's no... Drill vibrations do not work like you think they should. Alright? In that they are pretty much completely unavoidable. There's no good way to slow them, or stop them, or dampen them, or deal with them. And if you try to just pretend they don't exist, you're going to run into some issues.
Indeed. I have a delivery of nearly 800,000 iron and 1,000 steel plates.
Awesome. That should last us for a couple hours.
Well, that should last you for a couple of hours.
Hey, I'm not the one with that grinder wall.
Hey, that grinder wall was there for a purpose.
And so is most of my stuff.
Yes, most.
I actually can't think of anything that really isn't. Every time you do that, I have the urge to sing the Indiana Jones theme. And then I stop because I don't want to get a content ID match.
Sorry. I make that noise all the time when I'm working on things in games and concentrating far too strongly on it.
Oh, I do too. It's just, when I hear it, I want to sing the Indiana Jones thing. And yes, for those of you viewers who are watching who think I'm worrying about nothing, that will net you a content ID match.
Which will get your video banned.
Yeah. And if you get too many of them, well, say goodbye to your account.
Yes. I believe that's currently 5.
I believe you
before
are
your
correct.
account gets completely banned.
I believe you're correct,
But it may be 3.
but I don't want to find out.
Yeah. If anything, then we'll find out on 9.
Yeah. So one of the advantages of doing this as a station, by the way, is that I can actually do what you see me doing right here, which is actually building inside that rail assembly.
Yeah.
If this was a ship, it actually would not let me place there, because different grids and you could never get them aligned perfectly.
Pretty much.
However, I should be able to convert that to a station.
You mean convert that to a ship?
Convert it to a ship, rather. And it'll only shred itself apart 50% of the time.
As compared to 100%.
Right. Sometimes when you convert like that and it creates the new grid, it'll not be happy with you.
No, and I completely understand that. As it so happens, right now, I believe that we may actually be running over.
Yes, I believe we're definitely running over. So we'll probably finish this up in a future episode. This has been Mr. Kassarian.
And this has been Tekrin.
And as always, guys, happy flying.